stream. Make sure that okay, both the mics are running. All right, and in the stream, I'm going to be working on encrypted DMs via Nostr. So let me get this stream. Let's go take a look if we can find it on Zap.stream. All right. Got this link here. And then also, let's see if we can do twitch.tv/this. How's it going, Wormhole? Oh, nice. We're running ads, but no one's here to watch them. Pull this down here for a second. Does the microphone sound weird? That's not good. How weird? How kind? Like what kind of weird? I can always plug in a different mic if it's too much. I'd be pissed if this mic stopped working though. This would be like my second Yeti that went on me. All right. Is it bad? All right. One second. Let me try something. It's only coming through the Yeti, so I don't know. All right. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so there could be any number of issues. Let me just plug in this other mic, see if this works better. There we go. Unplug this. Plug that in. Unmute. Turn that off. Turn this down. Okay. Hopefully, if anyone's still stuck around, that audio's a bit better. Better? Okay, nice. All right, so I'm going to have to go figure out what's wrong with that Yeti. All right, let me also pull my account up. No, not that account. No, not that either. How the hell do you go to your channel anymore? It used to be so much easier. Oh, it's confusing. All right, so we are live there, which is good. And we're going to use this as our other dummy. We're going to log in with a private key. We're going to use Wilson's key here. No. Okay, nice. What was that? Oh, that was the ad. Like, what the heck? Is this muted? Zap.stream needs to learn how to mute things. You have to keep Yetis at a distance and turn the right way, is all I know about those. If you put them too close or turn the wrong way, it sounds bad. I mean, this is another Yeti. I'm using a Yeti, but this is a nano Yeti. But yeah, I don't know. How's it going, Alexis? All right, so now I can get started doing what I'm doing. Let me also, well, I don't know. Hopefully I can post from here. I don't know if I can though. Let me, this is something I'm gonna have to check on another screen so I don't compromise my private key for my actual Nostr account. Yeah, that's correct. All right, so I should be able to post a link to the stream. And I'll go like this. Logitech bought Yeti? I didn't know that. Interesting. Working on NIP-04 DMs here. I really probably should have like actually tried to like make a submission for Nostrasia, but like for this stuff and for the other things, but I just got so caught up with the project I'm currently working on. That's why I broke that. No, I mean that Yeti is from a while ago. It's an older Yeti. All right, we got that up. We got this up. Go in dark mode here. We're gonna go to the bounty that they're assigned to. Okey doke. We'll jump over to the discussion. I don't know why the old messages are not showing up. It's kind of strange. Go to my posted bounties. Discussion. Remember and don't ask again. Yes. Let's go take a look here. Yeah, it's only getting 2 message events. Strange. Because if I go to Damus, okay, go to DMs here. Yeah, they have all of the DMs. I should have all of those DMs as well. Put on my music so I don't get bored. Let me make sure that my they're attached. Alright, turn it down for me. Hopefully it's turned down there. Okay. Alright. So now I'm actually gonna hopefully write the code to do this. I'm gonna do it live because why not? Maybe someone will stumble upon this in the future and go, oh, that was useful. I needed to implement direct messaging over Nostr. And I didn't know how to do it. All right, so first thing is first, why am I not getting all of the messages like how Damus is? So let's go see if that's some scoping issue, filtering issue. think I have it under discussion, under chat window. Yes. So we're looking for kind fours, limits 1,000. We're looking for the creator and the applicant public keys, which should be there, but what is the cached bounty event ID? Maybe it's that. Here comes all of them. Okay. Why is that bounty event ID wrong? Whoa. Oh, okay. This is like all that stuff. This is like all my DMs I've ever gotten. So we do want to put that. But why wouldn't the old ones show up? Because the E tag should be this, which should be associated with this bounty. Maybe it was a different bounty. Oh, okay, because these would have been mine. Well, let's just do this then. Let's get rid of this. Creator public key. Yeah, that would be correct. But let's just get the messages from the applicant. And then let's not do that. And now we can take a look and see if they all have the correct E tags. E tag 56. 56. I mean, I probably could just get all of, well, no, not all of the ones that are associated with just the event. It would have to be both. Six. A. Ah. Yes, that has got to be a different event then. Yeah, okay. That was just a different event ID. What event ID was that then? Maybe it was this one? No. There it is. Okay. That probably is it. So let's do this one then. And let's maybe refresh this. Okay. So we got those. So now we need to initially load up all these events, and then so there should be one initial load, and then there needs to be another load. So this first subscribe should just be a regular subscribe. Get messages on the initial load. Toss that. Now the messages. So now after doing that, we should, after we get all of the messages, we need to start a listener for new messages. Yeah. So that's going to be in the relay store. Let's close this, open up a new tab, look for the relay store. And then we just need to not unsub on EOSE. Now, yeah, this function, we can just kind of hijack this. Like that. Jump back over to the chat window. Okay, this decrypt messages, ugh. Kind of hate this. Let's see, retrieve profiles. Okay, then we decrypt all of the events. We shut these message events here. We probably could, well, the problem is we have to do this asynchronously. How's it going, Ma? Working on some of the NIP-04 stuff. I have the encryption and decryption done. Now I have to think about state, caching, listening, all that kind of boring stuff, and I'm doing it on stream because, I don't know. It gives me a reason to talk out loud, I guess. Okay, so once we get all right, so at the end of this, we have a big events. We have a big array of encrypted events, or at least the content's encrypted. How do users share keys, BGP? So basically, you have two keys. I'll explain in Nostr. So we'll start at NIP-1, and then I'll explain NIP-4. So every user has a key pair, right? And the signatures are, the public key signatures, encoding, all that kind of stuff are done with Schnorr signatures. And so basically, like pretty much everything is like a key, but like a user is defined, they have a public key and a private key, right? So just a public-private key pair. And so, okay, you have your public key, I have my private key. So now, if we go to NIP-4, we create like a shared secret. And keep in mind, I am not like a cryptography expert. But, okay, so we set up our shared secret on the curve. And then we have our private key that we started with, so we get that from our browser extension. Here when we go to encrypt the message that we send, and then when we send it, we add this O2, which I'm also not 100% sure like what that does, but then we just add their public key afterwards, right? And then that'll be our shared secret. And then when we go to decrypt it, the user who's decrypting it is going to need their well, it depends. At the point of decryption, you're going to need the receivers. You're going to need your private key and the receiver's public key or something like this. Anyway, I have it implemented. It was very confusing, and I did it last night. It is simple. It is going to be a little bit more complicated in the future. So there's an improvement proposal out called NIP-04, and there's actually code around actually how to get it started, and that's how you end up getting your shared secret. So if you go to Nostr tools, How decrypting my own messages is done. I tried it with my private key, it didn't work. Yeah, so I'll show you how I did that. It is a little confusing. It's hard to think about, but like you'll realize that you need to use a different public key for your own versus the public key you would have used for messages you're getting from someone else. Again, it's hard for me to explain because I don't really think a lot about encryption, but then like I know how to make it work. Anyway, so but if you go down here, and yeah, so they have encrypting and decrypting direct messages. So okay, the sender generates a private key and a public key. You know, like these, you already have a public and private key pair for each participant in the conversation, right? So you can just imagine they already exist. Now, so you can see on the sender side, you get a shared secret. So right now that shared secret is just going to be like that little O2 thing I showed you before. But in the future, we're going to be using this NIP-04 to get the shared secret. The shared secret takes in the private key of the sender and the public key of the recipient. Now, depending on like reading your own messages, I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But anyway, so the private key of the sender and the public key of the recipient. Then for you to decrypt it on the other end, you're going to need this key here where you get that shared secret. And now you're going to be using the secret key of the receiver and the public key of the sender. Okay? So they're going to be using NIP-04 in the future to get that shared secret for the key. But for now, you don't do that. So this is end-to-end encrypted, opaque on the right, and not viewable by the server admins. Yes. 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 And the thing is, though, you're going to relay this message. So it's not peer-to-peer, right? So what the network will know is that you sent it, right? So the network, because it's all over relays. So I don't know how. You can let me know if you're familiar with Nostr or not, and then maybe I can explain how much I would need to explain. But all of this is done over relays. So for instance, if we go over like this, and these are just like WebSocket connected servers or whatever. So like the relay, or any relay, because like you can go over here, you can see like if I go to my relays, you know, I can post this, I can post my message to like, you know, 1,000 different relays, right? And then my recipient just needs to go, okay, you know, let me check one of these relays for the message from him, right? I mean, very likely you guys are all going to be using like a similar relay for most things. Like I just use this relay for most things. So then an object that looks like this gets sent to the relay. So the content's encrypted here, but you will know things like when the message was sent, and who it was sent to, and who it was sent from. But the information is completely encrypted. But it's really cool because it's just like, this is a way you could, like, in any app, implement encrypted DMs, you know? Like, just kind of a quick and dirty way. Like, you don't have to do shit. You just have to, like, plug into the Nostr network and just, like, boom, you have encrypted DMs. Like, okay, yeah, people are going to see that you actually are contacting other people. But, I mean, with how cheap it is to implement and how fast you can get it set up, it's kind of worth it, you know? Versus having to set up some, and the nice thing with the network effect as well. And I know that they're working on some other stuff too at the protocol level to hopefully, like, you know, obfuscate this. I mean, you probably want more than obfuscation, but it would be really nice if there was a way to where, like, you could hide who the sender and the recipient are. I just have no idea how the hell you would do that. But anyway, yeah, so these are the two messages I have sent, and they're pertaining to this particular event ID. So, okay, yeah. Ma, if you're still watching, so here's what I'm doing. So here's where I do the decryption. And the decryption depends. So if the user's public key, like the public key of the user who signed in, if it's equal to the P tag, which is the recipient, the receiver, then the decryption public key should be the public key on the event. Otherwise, the decryption public key should be this. Should be like the public key of the person you're sending it to. So the public key is either going to be of the person you're sending it to, or the public key that's attached to the event. So, because you got to remember, like, you need to be able to decrypt the ones. So, like, if your public key you're signed in with matches the thing that it was sent to, then you need to use the public key, I guess, of the sender to decrypt it. I mean, that's just what seems to work. You know? So at bare minimum, that's what's working right now. I do need to eventually like diagram this out and like fully understand it. And I had to write it twice because we're supporting like being able to do all of this without a browser extension. But right now also I need to think about the whole asynchronous nature of all this as well, and how I'm going to be dealing with storing these events. So I could store them unencrypted, or I could store them encrypted. If I store them encrypted, then I need to encrypt them, decrypt them every single time. Every single time that this page loads. I don't think I want to do that. What do you think of BAB from Binance? It's sort of an NFT that can be used for login for Web3. I personally think that, I mean, it's just my personal preference, right? It's just like not my personal like preference, but like it's my personal opinion. I am of the opinion that I don't like anything in Web3. If it's tied to some sort of blockchain, if it's tied to some sort of shitcoin, I'm generally not interested in it. You know? So like, this Nostr stuff is not like, it doesn't have any coins, it's not a blockchain, it has none of that like hype or any like nonsense like that. It's not even Web3, you know. This is like going back in time. This is like going back to just like I have a public key and I have a private key, and I use my private key to sign events to prove that it's me who sent it. You know? Like, and that's like it. That's like Nostr, that's half of Nostr. And then the other half of Nostr is I send them to dumb relays, which are easy to implement and spin up, so anybody can spin them up, and I can send them to 10,000 relays if I feel like it, so that you can't censor my content. And I get to keep the exact same identity across all databases. So this is like the antithesis of like some new, you know what I mean? Like Web3 crypto project or something like that. It just literally has everything to do with like, I can use any database I want. I do it over WebSockets, and I have a public-private key pair across all databases. NFTs, I'm just not really like a fan of, I guess. Especially when they're going to be on like a blockchain that I can't necessarily believe is going to be around forever. Like, for instance, if Binance, the trading platform, goes out of business, the Binance token is very likely going to go like to zero, right? I don't know what happens to Ethereum when Vitalik dies. And So I just don't, you know what I mean? Like there's stuff that I don't know about. Like I just don't, I don't feel good about that. And the same thing goes for all of the other crypto projects that have like major venture capital in them. It's just like, well, when the venture capital dries up, I don't know, like, are people still going to be interested in using this? Like, I don't see like any adoption for these things. So I like wouldn't trust them long term, I guess is like my argument for why I'm not interested. Like, I'm just not interested long term building on any of those things. Now let's see here. Okay, we pass all these events. We do this. I feel like this is an array of events. I feel like this should work. Like if I do, like set event messages. Or message events. Set message events. Like if inside this function I did set message events. And then in set message events, I put the relay URL. And then I also put that under the cached cache. I don't know if this is the best way to store these. I don't think it is. I think you would need like the cached bounty event.id plus the I don't know. For now, that's fine, but maybe in the future, I don't really like that. Possibly null. If not cached value event. The messages should just be what's already here. So that would be like an event array. Well, this would just be all of the messages, so we could just probably toss this like that. And then this would be message events. What? Message events on this particular relay URL under this particular ID, which needs to be better thought out. And then what you'll do is you'll put the event with the content of the decrypted message every single time. So then you can get rid of that. You could add this down here and toss this. And then instead of the decrypted message, you could say error, decrypting message. Yes, that's how you spell that. Okay, and then now we don't have to have this intermediary state. Yeah, I guess I get its concept, thanks. And where did you learn about Nostr? Where did I learn about Nostr? I learned about... I haven't tried Bravely AI. I learned about Nostr. Where did I learn about Nostr? Probably some Bitcoin podcast somewhere. Because I follow Bitcoin extremely closely. So, like, anytime there's something like that, like, I'm usually going to know about it. And then, basically, the guy who created Nostr was the same guy. I think Fiat Jeff, as far as I understand, he had a lot to do with He had a lot to do with like lightning and stuff like that, and like implementing like all of like the LUDs and things. As far I don't really know too much about Fiat Jeff's background besides his invention of Nostr. But when he invented that, and then when Jack Dorsey gave him a bunch of money to like implement things, I was like, maybe it's more serious than I thought. How's it going, Carve? We're gonna hopefully be able to take a lot of the concepts that I come up with from this hackathon though, and like go back and fix things in BlogStack and NoteBin and all those kinds of things. And like once I get DMs working in here, like I'm gonna make sure it's like a component that you can just like copy and paste and like drag and drop somewhere else, so that like if I get DMs working here, any Nostr app that I build in the future, DMs will work. Same with like anything else, like all the relay management, all that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna go back and like backfill BlogStack and like fix NoteBin, like all the other kind of things. Anyway, let's update this now. And ideally for sites that I really care about, I'm not going to continue to use like session storage for these things. Like my hope is to like eventually spin up like a Redis instance or something like that. I don't know. By the way, how are you defining relays? Are you making a default like the first time I log in, it's there and then I can add or delete? Yes. So basically I just right now, so my ideal flow is, well, I have like a super ideal in my head, and then I'll like move down into what's feasible after that. The super ideal is that you show up with a browser extension that says what relays you want to connect to, and then the site immediately reads that from the browser extension. And then like, boom, that's it. Is this TypeScript? Yes. This is TypeScript. You can't tell? Is that because my TypeScript is so shit, or because it looks so arcane? But yes, this is TypeScript. I guess you can't really see any types here, can you? Yeah, but like if you go up here, you can see that I'm like, there's types. And that like I'm using like the event type, filter type, all that kind of stuff. You're a noob? Oh, okay, gotcha. I feel like a noob too. That feeling may never go away. I discovered that there's a global Nostr.get relays. After you log in, of course. Yeah, I really would like to like find a way so that you can advertise before you even start the relays you want to connect to. But say, forget that for a minute. Then I would expect that at bare minimum, you should have a super broadcasted event that should be on pretty much all relays that I can take a look at and go and find your favorite relays. So that like maybe I connect to Damus initially and pick an initial relay to connect to, and it looks like my connection dropped. Oh. Anyway, and then after that, then I populate the relay list with your preferred relays. .tsx. Oh yeah. Well, you might not have seen that. So, I mean, from up here, if you're looking at this, there's no good way to know that this is TypeScript, right? Besides looking at the file extensions. Anyway, so let me get rid of that. I gotta find a better way to put this. It should be like, you should be caching this based on like, yeah, actually, it shouldn't be the it should be the ID plus the P tag. But yeah, I don't want to implement like another index on this. I'd rather probably just make the string because there's no real reason to do it that way. So yeah, okay. For now, this is fine though. Okay, now we got other broken shit somewhere. Okay, so this is messages. So then this should be message events. And then this would be message events. And then this would be like a message. But I mean, you did get it like this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, even TypeScript. I started learning TypeScript when I wrote BlogStack. And I wrote BlogStack earlier this year. I don't think I really knew any TypeScript before then. Like, I definitely was really shit. Even BlogStack has a lot of shitty TypeScript in it. And I would say that, like, my TypeScript abilities now are, like, mediocre. And I'm hoping by the end of, like, this project... What the hell's your problem? It's possibly not. Oh, okay. We gotta do like that. I'm hoping by the end of this project, I can be like a journeyman in TypeScript and React and stuff. Cached. But there's like shit I don't even know how it works in React like at all. Like I really do need to figure it out. Has no call signatures. Implicitly as any type. Well, this would be an event as far as I understand. What's the problem here? Has no call signatures. Yeah, you gotta... Never mind. I got the wrong thing. I can see how talented you are. Building an encrypted chat box. I don't know. I don't think... Honestly, it's just following a spec. It's not really has anything to do with like talent or anything. There are much more talented people out there building more interesting things, but I'd like to get to a point where hopefully I can build something that's pretty useful and interesting. Alright, so now if we get over here and we get from the cache, oh wow, we get the encrypted bullshit. Damn it. Well, that's because it shouldn't be saved. Okay, this is good. Message events of relay URL is undefined. Okay, so that just doesn't exist yet, so we need to make sure that that exists before we render this. And message, this is like, I'd also love to find a better way to do this shit too. And I need to go like do a boot camp. All right, here we go. Here we go. Boom, discussion, shit. What's the problem? Is undefined. That's in the chat window on 107. Oh, okay. 107. So when we go to decrypt these messages, okay. We have to implement the same logic that's down here. We're gonna have to probably break this out into its own function. Do you grind leak code? I used to grind leak code. Not anymore though. If someone asks me a leak code question, like for a job, I won't work there. So it's as simple as. I'm not going back. Like I could spin myself back up to the point where like I could go and solve like medium and hard level leak code problems again in like 20 and 30 minutes. I'm sure I could go do it. But I'm not going to. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to do it. I just don't feel like it would be quicker this time around. Like if I had to, like if I wanted to do that, but like, it's just so, it would be such a waste of a couple weeks of my time. Like I just have more interesting, things I want to do than to do something like that. React plus TypeScript, one of the worst combos for web dev. I mean, I feel like it's one that's easy to hate because it's the most popular. But for me, it's like, I just know if I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to be able to do pretty much everything I want to do. You know, like there is some workaround. There's a massive community that will be able to like help me out with my questions and things like that. There's best practices, there's good standards, there's big companies using it, there's longevity in the project and stuff like that. It's been around for a long time. So like I'm always going to try to pick something like that for most things. Because I'm never going to be able to like build the thing I actually want to build if I have to sit here and like, you know, actually implement like half of like the stack myself, or I have to deal with like buggy new software. How's it going, Bailey? Well, you have to be able to do mediums in like 30 minutes, yeah. Maybe not hards. But like, there's definitely, yeah. I'm like, if you get asked a medium question, a lot of the time, like I've done whiteboarding interviews and I've done like leak code questions when I got out of college. I remember it was funny when I was interviewing at Comcast. I had to do like, like a leak code style-esque question when I went in, and I did it whiteboarding, and then the guy started like erasing the problem while I was solving it, and he's like, oh, actually, let me add this parameter over here, and blah, 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 and I'm just like, all right. I get the bounty system working? Yeah, the bounty system mostly works. I actually have a NIP out for it. Hopefully they'll accept it. We'll see, but at least I have it out there. But if you go to Nostr NIPs, I have a pull request here for bounties. Yeah, some people have taken a look at it. But you can read about my proposal for how bounties should work on Nostr. If anything, it's just like, it's at least like my thoughts about like how I'm getting the system to somewhat work. But I'm pretty confident that this is a decent system. What if the leak code problem was in Java, not TypeScript? I mean, that's what I did. I did Java. That's all I know. I know leak code in Java. I don't know leak code in TypeScript. I would be fucked if I had to do it in TypeScript. I would have to go back and either do it in Java or Python, because Java was like the language I learned in school. I'm much better at Java than I am at TypeScript, like a million times better. And I'm much better at back-end development than I am at front-end development. But Java bores the shit out of me. So, I don't know. I'm using ChatGPT Neovim plugin to help me write a Udemy course. Nice. Bounty problem is making the payment pending. I am not sure if you can do that. What do you mean by payment pending? Okay, so instead of this junk here, we need to do this thing here to make sure that the thing actually exists, and if it doesn't exist, then we just have to add it, and blah, 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 blah. So I really should write like a helper method for this. Whatever, I guess. Let's do that. Okay, so this is basically the idea, and so what we're going to want to do is we'll just write some function that... This is another thing I do too. I like mix and match like functions, like regular like functions and arrow functions, like all the time, just depending on how I feel in the moment, which is like awful. Let's see, so set... I can't call it set message events. I have to call it something else. I need to like, I need to think of a idea for this. Like pay you for a bounty the person is working on, it develops, and then see that the payment is made, but he haven't received the money. Whenever he concludes the project should receive them. Like you pay for a bounty. The person working on it develops and sees that the payment is made, but he hasn't received the money. Whenever he concludes the project, he should receive. But there still is the possibility for a scam, like the poster not being happy with the result. This kind of would require a mediator for a small percentage of the bounty. Yeah, so that's what we're actually working on. So my Nostr NIP is for how you can do a bounty system where there's still going to be trust. So I'm even going to, like, I even talk about down here some things I'm probably going to add, which is like a settlement off the network. But like, for instance, if the there's trust here, like this is not trustless, right? And it's not even, there is no third party mediator. So so imagine without a third party mediator right now, right? Just imagine there's no escrow, there's no third party mediator. Well, then you have something like, if we go to bouncer, okay? So like, this is what we currently have for like a bounty board on Nostr. And basically, well, not on Nostr, it's just a bounty board, right? So like, basically the way that this bounty board works is you just post a markdown file to a GitHub repository and it reads it, see? So each one of these is just a markdown file, you know? And so that's how it works today. That's like, this is like the most popular bounty site that has to do with Nostr, but like, there's not a lot of popular bounty sites really anyway. But yeah, so there's definitely trust here. I mean, some dude puts it out like, okay, Pharmacist put out, you know, for 1.25 million sats, he wants you to create a meetup killer. Okay. So say you build that. I mean, you could, I guess, apply here or pledge more, whatever. But if you do it, then like if you apply and then you do it and then you give him the solution, I mean, he can always just not send you the money, right? Now, I think doing it on Nostr is one step maybe better, but then having a third-party mediator, like an Oracle, would probably be the best move. Reputation systems are also difficult. At least Java can be mastered on like TypeScript. Well, Java is a nightmare in and of itself, but I mean, I think that's like mainly due to Java developers. It's like maybe 50-50, the language and the developer community. But yeah, reputation systems, we could implement something like that. But again, that reputation, who decides on the reputation, right? So that's another problem as well. So I would say that the platform decides on the reputation, but you can still use the protocol so that multiple platforms can implement multiple different reputations. And then ultimately, you know, people will go to the platforms that they believe implement reputations the best across the protocol. But it still should be an open protocol. That way anybody can go and create their own bounty site and stuff like that. Not only that, but if you do use an open protocol for the bounty site, you can integrate very nicely with the rest of the user's social network. So that's why I feel like this is a step up from this. This is like, you know, it's all right. But like right now, you're kind of limited to post a bounty. You're kind of limited by the ability to access the GitHub. And you're at the whim of whoever the administrator is on GitHub. And then you're also at the whim of GitHub. If you decide to post a bounty onto this thing that GitHub doesn't like, that's it, you know? I mean, they can nuke the entire repository. So being able to like do it via Nostr is I would just say one better step in the right direction. And then after Nostr, then you need something like escrow. And then you need something like the ability to do like third-party escrow, and then you need some sort of reputation system set up with the people who are going to be paying out the funds. It's all very complicated, but you kind of have to build to get there. You know what I mean? Like you have to build all the pieces, get the pieces in place, and then you can get on to the next piece. How's it going, Jimmy? Imagine requiring a video interview so they get the data of the scammer and posting it on the blacklist link you would need to implement. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, a lot of and I feel like every step of the way, everything should be opt-in, right? So like if somebody just wants to use the Resolver platform and not use the third-party escrow system, and they just believe, like they're willing to accept the trust. Like for instance, if like I know a couple names here. Right? Like I've heard these names before. So there's NVK. I've heard the name NVK. If I implement this podcast RSS mirror replacement and I implement it well, right? I believe he'll pay me the money, right? So I don't really need the third-party escrow system to interact with this guy. But, you know, there could be someone else who I don't know who they are. Like, I don't know who KoalaSat is. I've never heard of KoalaSat before. So I might not trust KoalaSat. So maybe then I'm like, okay, if you want me to do this, because I don't know who you are, and maybe I look up KoalaSat and they're not some big name person or something like that who has a big social reputation on the line. If I start making some noise saying like, hey, they didn't pay me, blah, blah, blah. Well, then maybe then I am going to get into a third-party contract with an escrow system between me and them. But yeah, it's all, you know. All right, so we need this function here. The function is to set messages, or just, yeah, to set messages. So we're going to call it set message events, but we already have something that's called that. I really... I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to come up with a shit name for this. Cache message events, because that's all search through. Maybe this should even be called cache message events, and I don't know, whatever. I can't think of anything. So this is what will go in there. This is how this will work, like this. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to say if cache bounty, if not cache bounty event, you'll just return. Okay, and then this is actually going to be taking in a, we don't need the relay URL because we can get that from the state, but we do need events. That's event. We need events like that, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. And now, okay, yep. So now if there's already something there, add it to. If not, then it will just become the entire list. Will there be a discussion for each post? Yes. So there will be multiple kinds of ways to do discussions. This discussion is between the applicant who I have assigned. So I've assigned this applicant, and so Wilson says I can do it. I assign him. The discussion page opens up between me and Wilson. Right? Then, like, if I unassigned him, like that, discussion page is locked because I haven't assigned anyone. So now I'll assign Wilson again. I'll go back to the discussion page. Well, I have the shit's broken right now because I'm playing around with it, but like those messages would show back up. Now the interesting part too is that all of those messages will also be here as well on the other clients. So if you decide, hey, I don't really want to use Resolver for messaging because Damus has better messaging or whatever. I use Damus more often. Well, I can talk to the guy who's doing my who's doing my bounty. I can talk to him from my phone on an app, and I don't need to be on the Resolver site. Yeah, so the public discussion, we can also implement that as well. So that's what's up there currently, and I'm just going to move that under the bounty. So if you do something like, and that's a good point too, for like scam prevention and stuff like that, because people could post comments on it and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you go to Resolver currently, I didn't even think of that. That's something we probably should have brought up. Go to Resolver currently. Right, and you go to this guy's thing. We can go to discussion here, and we can just publicly talk. Now this discussion here is going to be moved under the bounty down here. So that way you'll be able to have like a DM discussion with the person that who's working on the bounty, and then you'll also be able to have a comment section down here where people can be like, like tell you to do stuff. Or that, like, they're like, oh, I think Tom would be good for this. Let me ping him here or something like that. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. It would just be a good way for the bounty creator to also explain himself further as well for people who have questions. So that comment section could definitely be here and will be moved from here to here in the future. Alright, so now we have cache message events like this. Another thing could help is making mandatory split submissions. You post a bounty that has to be at least split into 2 parts, something that can be made in short and small. Oh, yeah, like a step-by-step piece, like partial completions and things like that. I think in that case, it'd be a good way to like put them all under the same banner, but like you could just put out multiple bounties. But I see how like having the context might be good. That's something definitely to think about. Okay, so cache message events. Now. Okay, so that's events. This is message events. I don't really, one second, I gotta test this thing out over here. Blah 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 is undefined, and that's in the chat window. And that's here. What? Why would that be? Okay, well we're gonna have to go one layer deeper as well now. Down here. Oh shit, what page is that on? This is on the chat window. This is the chat window. Okay, there's this. Okay, now those messages aren't showing up, but that's probably because, well, I actually don't know why they're not showing up. This shouldn't be here anymore. Refresh, click on this. Should be running get messages. Get messages should go down here. Maybe I want to blow away what's in that storage. But, well, whatever. This should blow away what's in the storage anyway. Okay, nothing's showing up. It's getting here? Getting messages, okay. Decrypt messages. Have I tried Amethyst? No. I really should. I didn't know Mac had an Amethyst like local install, but I'll probably check it out at some point. I've been using Damus a lot. Hey, what's up, Brian? It's nice. I'll definitely have to check it out. Instead of the rectangle? What, this rectangle? Okay, so on EOC this happens, but technically the events, so I don't know, are we even getting here? I feel like message event isn't even firing. If message event isn't firing, something has to be gating us from getting here. Do we get to this point? We do get to the message filter. Do we get to right before the subscription? Console.log. What the hell? Console. Okay, we get all the way there. We have the right filter. Well, actually, maybe we don't. Oh, no, we do. Tets. Send that. Okay. Okay, now I get it. Why is that not sending? Like, why am I not getting the other ones? I don't know what's happening there. Oh, I'm basing it on the event ID, and every single time I assign and unassign him, that's what's happening. Because then the event ID changes. Okay, that's what that is. Never mind, I got that. Have you tried this new programming concept paradigm? What's the new programming concept paradigm? Oh, you're talking about this amethyst. Oh, I'm like... Oh, that's hilarious. I thought you were talking about amethyst for Nostr. Maybe this trendy millennial can help me out. She has her Apple Watch on. And what seems to be a MacBook that's hiding its branding. And a bowl of lemons. But anyway, let's see. So we have amethyst, Nostr. Never talk to me like that, it's cringe. Talk to you how? Declarative? No, I've never heard of declarative, the declarative programming paradigm. Let's see here. Search with AI powered boost. No. I don't know what the hell that is. What is going on with the internet anymore? It's like a nightmare. Anyway, this is the amethyst that I was thinking you were talking about. It's like the Android amethyst. Anyway. If you want sats today, you have to try out the bounty board. I need you to post a bounty. Well, actually, you need to apply to one of my bounties, and then I'll pay you. So, work for sats. I forget what we agreed on. Nostr. 100. What is it, 100 sats? I think it's 100 sats. And then we'll do create bounty. All right. It's probably in the range of 1K. Today it's 100. Oh no, I can't put it in there. Shit. There you go, a beautiful Nostr link. Oh, is it too long? No. This is gonna be a problem. Well, I would have linked it. I would have linked you it, but the natter's too long. You know how we can get around this in the future, though? Instead of putting the natter, we can put the D tag, and the D tag will. It won't encode the exact same information, but like if it will be mostly okay. Because the natter's holding things like relay information and stuff, right? So, like that's why it's as long as it is. But we probably could use the D tag so that like the thing is more easily shareable, and then it's just kind of up to you to like have a relay that'll be able to grab it. Anyway, you need to go there and then you need to apply for the bounty. So if we go to here, you just look for the one that says work for sats, and then you need to come here and you need to put an application in. The button will be there, and then I'll zap you from here and we'll prove that it works. What's your favorite browser? I really hate all browsers. They all suck. Probably Firefox, or some days Brave, I don't know. On Mac, go to shortcuts and there's a shortcut for shorten links. Oh yeah, I could always do something like that where it's like forwards into the link. I'm not doing all that though. LibreWolf is crazy. What's crazy about LibreWolf? Right. Okay. Let's see here. Relay URLs the font. Okay. Yeah. This. Oh yeah. All right, we're back where we started. If that and that, then do that. Otherwise, do that. I'm still not sure that this is going to put it in the correct way, because this is like an event. Yeah, well, this is an event object being added to that, and it's in this array list. So, ultimately, that's probably fine. So maybe, okay, we know we're not decrypting using the user private key. We know we're going to be here. So we only really need to do it here because we're probably not going to throw any of these things anyway. So we could just get rid of that. Really hate Chromium. I don't know. I don't think about browsers, really, that much. Can you come apply for this so I can test out this bounty board? I'll up the ante, too, in the next bounty. I can't send the link. It won't allow me. Where's the things that I need? All right, where's this URL shortener thing? URL. Shortener. Short URL. I've seen like tiny URLs. This isn't it. Shit. Where is it? This. Here we go. We'll do that. And we'll paste it here. Shorten the URL, please. Oh, man. What did I do? That should work. Maybe it's still too long. Well, if you can't find the bounty, you're not getting paid today. All bounties will now be paid through there. Well, yeah, I guess you could just link them to the site. Yeah. It shouldn't be so hard to link to the bounty, though. I'm going to have to think about that. I don't see any really good reason to use LibreWolf off instead of something just like just a custom user JS file. Like, I'm pretty sure LibreWolf is mostly just a custom user JS file anyway, so I'm just not, like, I don't know. My UX is bad. How's my UX bad? Okay. It's so simple. You show up, you click apply. How could it be bad? Alright. Now look, see, I will click assign. You're now assigned. Also, you should add some more stuff, like maybe like a nice picture or something like that. You couldn't figure out where apply was? How big do I need to make it? It's like right, it's like it's the most colorful button on the page. It's like right there. Maybe I do need to make it bigger. I gotta put it big and maybe in bold, like text extra large or something like that, like right here, like apply. But okay, so you're there, and then I can either unassign you or I can pay you. You know what? Big, bold, not italic. I might make it slightly bigger, we'll see. But anyway, so now I can pay you. Good work on the bounty. Whatever. Send reward. Here we go. We're going to connect. Confirm. All right. Look at that. 4 whole American cents. Success. We got a payment hash here. There you go. So now it says that the bounty was paid and there was a solution that was accepted. Now also, if you go to your account, so if we take this account here, because I now have receipts for this as well. So if we go to something like primal.net. Is that an AI? What is this? Is this an AI? I feel like this is, yeah, this is some sort of new AI. Ugh, this is going to be terrible. Anyway, so we'll go to primal. And we'll go to just some page. And then we'll swap, oh wait, that would be an event. We want to go to like his user profile page. And then we'll go to the profile of you. And now we can go look at your zaps. And now you can see that I paid you for a bounty. Because we have receipts. So the network knows that I paid you. It's like 5 soy boy Canadian cents, yeah. How many dollary dues is it though? That's why I don't use yeah. This seems like against the anti-FBI stuff. Let's go back to Internet Explorer. This is all open source. That's why it all works so well. Because it's all, like, it's an open protocol. All of the sites are open source. All of the way that I'm doing things is open source. It's all, yeah, and it just works. Once people catch on to this shit, I mean, it's going to be wild because it's like, there's just not a lot of vectors to, like, gain money in the world, right? So, like, for instance, I mean, you can launder money through here semi-well, you know? But, especially if you're in other countries, you know? But, like, if you're in another country and you want to be able to get a currency, because a lot of people say, okay, well, I live in, say, Argentina or some African country somewhere. and my currency is devaluing. And then I'll say to someone, maybe they should get on Bitcoin. And then they're like, oh, well, didn't you know that the dollar is doing better than Bitcoin? But then it's like, well, okay, but they're saving, right? And so, but then also there's an access question, right? Like it's like for now, maybe the dollar's doing better than Bitcoin, sure, whatever. But how easy is it for this user to set up a bank account in America and make sure that those third parties are going to allow them to keep their American dollars, if they decide, we're not going to use American dollars anymore. We're going to use this other thing. Well, I mean, you could literally say you're just some enterprising young developer in Africa or wherever you are in the world, right? That doesn't have access very easily to get bank accounts, or you're in Argentina, right? And your government is just destroying your currency. Well, it's going to be hard for you to get dollars, but all you have to do is have an Albi sign-up link, right? You just need like an Albi wallet extension or just any Lightning wallet that you can just install on your phone, right? And then you just need to sign in and just go, oh, you know what? One way I can make money is I can go over to this bounty website and maybe like this guy's giving out 12,000 sats or whatever. We'll put like a conversion. Maybe that's like $10 or something. And then you could go do work and get paid on here like this, and that's a way you can actually get money, where someone from Germany could post a bounty, right? And then he can pay you in Argentina, and no bank has to be involved. Oh, look at Chris being canceled by talking about. It's yellow because it's a honeypot. You could make your own extension. It's completely open source. Like you could get, if you don't trust Albi, right? Because they're like bee related, and so like clearly they're a honeypot because bees are like honey. You know what I mean? Like bees make honey, and so clearly Albi's a honeypot, right? Well, then all you have to do is you just go to the Get Albi GitHub. Go to their Lightning browser extension. You know what I mean? Fork it and remove all of the honeypot stuff and call it, some other super cool name. I don't know what the license is on it, but it's got an MIT license, yeah. So there you go. As someone from a third world country with trash currency, I know many people need this stuff. If they need it, well, then they can learn how to become software developers and compete with the AIs so that they can come solve bounties and make money this way, right? I mean, this is a weird way with bounties to get paid, right? Because this is not, and it's completely digital. Like, think of another way where all you need is a computer to get money sent directly to you, where no one can take it. Like you could say, like, okay, maybe someone could create a site with Lightning that sells, like an Amazon or something like that, but there still needs to be physical products in that case. Like bounties are something that someone can do for someone in software and then get paid in currency, where that person doesn't need to ship anything back and forth besides, besides text. Essentially, I mean, I guess you could be like you could set up like an OnlyFans, but like, I'm not going to be making that site because it's unethical. Fork every software I use and add the, right, there you go. A lot of young people need a bank account to get money, but are too young. Well, you don't need a bank account with this. You just need a Bitcoin address and a Lightning address, and that's it. And then you can start to collect sats. And you don't have to figure out however the hell government is going to be getting you a bank account in a third world country, which just seems like something that's never going to scale. But you know, people can believe what they want. Okay, cache message events. This is where we need to update this. Cache message events, like that. There we go. Now let's see if that works. Did that work? I think that worked. OnlyFans but Nostr, yeah. I mean, yeah, but yeah. There will probably be that. I mean, not much we can do to stop it, you know? Again, I'm not going to be the one building it, but I'm sure somebody's going to make a shit ton of money building that. Yeah, someone is going to make an absolute killing building that, 100%. Because it'd be so easy, too, to, like, just, like, split the payments on the website. Like, the people who are on OnlyFans, they don't know how to program or anything like that. They just need a site to show up to do that kind of thing. And then they're not going to be able to program or anything, but they'll be able to, like, just accept whatever split the guy who owns the website is willing to give them, I guess. You want money? You're kind of a dumb. Well, I don't know. You might be better off right now than just going and getting like a big tech job. If you want money fast. But if you want to build for the long term, building on stuff like this is going to be, in my opinion, is going to be much more interesting. All right, so that worked. So now let's go be Wilson for a second. Where's Wilson? Okay. Oh, that doesn't look good. Let's refresh this. Yeah, big tech jobs are boring. Ruh-roh. Oh, okay. Now here is where we would need to go update that code to get the cache bounty in the other instances. All right, so we can make this much simpler then. So now we can take that code, we can do this, we can do that like that, and then we'll also take this, pop that there, get rid of this, jump over here, error, decrypting message. Yep, and we'll come down here and put that there, get rid of these guys, and there we go. Simpler code with no intermediary state. And this shit, what is this? We don't need to do that anymore. And we don't need to do this, and we don't need to do, we do need to do that, and we don't need this, and we don't need this, and we don't need this or this, and we certainly don't need this. Okay, code has been somewhat simplified. Now all of this I can also throw into the Nostr library as well. Could get a Best Buy job though. Yeah, it might be a better start. But again, I mean, if you are in a country where all of your money is being devalued, you really should start thinking about, like, where can I put my money so that it won't devalue so fast? Because we seem to be going through a pretty interesting time with fiat currency across the world these days. Hi, what's Nostr? Well, I'm tempted to give you the entire spiel, but essentially, in a nutshell, it is a kind of new protocol for social networking. You can think of it like that, where you have where every single user generates a private key and a public key, and then we all send messages to each other over things called relays, where relays are extremely dumb and easy to spin up, so anybody can spin up a relay. So now the database is, there's tons of databases, and you completely own your own identity. So it allows us to do things, for instance, like you can see that I have this message here being sent, and I can pay people, right? But you can see that I have this message sent, right? It says TETS from me to this user, right? And so you can see it here in this discussion tab on this site, but then you'll also see the exact same messages over here. So, like, it allows us to have this open protocol so that a bunch of different social media clients and stuff like that can all kind of interoperate. Is one way to think about it, I guess. So many different ways to explain it. I can explain it in super complicated ways and easy ways, but at the end of the day, it's probably something you just kind of have to experience. Yeah. All right, so we got this message sent back and forth. We have it cached. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But now that we have that, I probably should go and fix the stupid chat input thing in the discussion. I don't think we need this. Okay, and this is also going to have to change potentially to the D tag. So I don't know if they allow us to do that though. Must contain that. Tags may contain an entry identifying the previous mention in the conversation or message you're explicitly replying to, such that a contextual and more organized message in the form of that. Yeah, but probably a D tag might be better, or an A tag. I'm assuming that A tags would be just fine. Maybe we should try to do it via A tag. An A tag. Okay, so this would be the kind, this would be the pub key, and this would be the D tag, and that's what's in an A tag. Yeah, so then they could look it up via that. It's probably best to do it that way. And you could also give a recommended relay URL, which we should probably do as well. For a non-parameterized replaceable, well, we have a parameterized replaceable then. Okay, so let's try and build this out, because this is going to be the move. What? Where did it go? Okay. So instead of an E tag, we're going to do an A tag. And we're going to do something like this. And we're going to start it with a 350. And then the reference would be the public key. So that would be the something like this, but it actually would be the pub key. For most people, a MacBook is okay. Why? Why would that be the case? And then we have ABC, which would be the D tag of the bounty event, which we would need to run get tag values, and then we would need to jump back here and whoopsie daisy. Do D D tag, but then also we would need to pop this in this. I think a MacBook for most people is really good. I think many people on the planet would be very, very happy with a MacBook. What's the problem here? We need to close it like that. Okay, so now we have the event kind, the event public key that it was published under, and then the D tag specifying the event. Now we could also then add in the relay URL. And that's where you'll be able to find it. Which Bitcoin wallet do I recommend? I recommend a cold card. Cold card. This is what I think is best. I highly, highly do not recommend. I highly would recommend against getting a ledger. Cold wallet. Because they have like a new this thing. This is not good. You're gonna pay to give away your keys. This hopefully will be remembered as one of the stupidest things that you could possibly do. Now I understand a 2 of 3 multi-sig where you give one centralized entity potentially a a third of that, and then you put one maybe in like a Dropbox somewhere that you don't tell anyone, or like a storage unit somewhere, and then you bury the other one in your backyard. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know. But so I understand 2 of 3 multi-sigs or whatever, X of Y multi-sigs with centralized entities, but I do not understand whatever they're doing. If they can recover, I know that they have too much, and I just feel like they're not. I don't know. This ledger kind of glows, is all I'll say. Identity verification, all this shit. It's like, yeah, send to selfie recording. No, but I highly recommend this. Verifiable source code. It's not closed source. It's Bitcoin only, which is also nice, so that it's very focused on that. And it is easy to use, and it is extremely secure. This is what I recommend for most people. I would recommend a cold card. Another good one, I think, is the Blockstream Jade. And this is another one I would recommend. It's open source hardware wallet and Bitcoin and liquid assets. I don't really know much about liquid, but I've heard that this is a good one. I don't know this one as well. I personally use a cold card. But I think this is another one I could potentially recommend. Okay, so now we have an A tag there. And okay, so now we need something for this message. Handle send message change. Okay, and then when we apply, blah, 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 blah. And once it's published, then you would do set message to nothing. Yes. And then also you would then run that other function that I'm going to now need to abstract. So now we will abstract this function here. and we're going to need to grab all that shit. So let's go and grab them. So this is all from the event store. So we're going to want to get the cached bounty event. We're going to want message events. We're going to want set message events, and we're going to want get message events, like that. Okay. And now that is something that can work. So now we'll jump back up to the chat window here. And I think we'll need to do cache message events, but also we're going to need to export this function. All right. And we're also going to need it to do cache under different key not cached bounty event ID. Probably going to want to cache it under that A tag. I think that's probably what makes the most sense. Maybe. But maybe not. I don't know. Probably the A tag plus the other person in the message. I never got a hardware wallet. Oh, dude, you definitely should get one. Especially, you know, if you have any like serious amount of money in like Bitcoin or anything, I highly recommend it. I don't know how expensive they are. So we go to products, get the Jade, see what that costs. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cheap. It's like 65 bucks. You can really spend a lot of money on cold cards. Like all of like the fun other stuff that they have. Yeah, so like this is good, but then also there's like other things. Like they have, I would get, like if I was to get this, I would get like a bundle. Like this is the kind of thing I got. Where like you can plug it in and do kind of stuff with it, and you know. So you would probably want to get one like this, but you don't need like the second cold card. So I don't know. I would get like one cold card plus a micro SD, and then like something to plug it in with. So that wouldn't cost this much. That would, you know, cost something. I just don't know what. You'd have to like put it all together. Also, I would wait for Black Friday. Everything will be cheaper if you do it on Black Friday. And then if you could also pay in Bitcoin, you'll also get to save some money as well. Okay, how did this happen? I hate when this shit happens. Get in there. Okay, so we have that. We have this. Now, when we look it up, we do not want to look it up that way. We want to look it up shit, what was I doing? Oh, that was like empty. Okay, interesting. So That would be in the discussion? Shit. Discussion. And then we need this for the chat window. And this will be that, but it should be like this. I think it'll still find it even if I don't include the relay URL. And then I can toss that. So now if I refresh here, no discussion, refresh here, no discussion. And I'll do a test message. Well, actually, before I do that, let's make sure we're setting it in the cache after we send it. Wait a minute. Okay. Get out of here. We may need to abstract this as well. Because we might need to decrypt these messages right after the discussion as well. So then if we come over here, just have to figure out what extra stuff there is. The user public key, and we can pull that in at the top. Use profile store, use that store, use relay store, use const, user public key. And this would be use user profile store dot get state. Ruh-roh. This is something that has to always happen on the client, I think. Oh wait, no, this is, never mind, no, this is fine. Just import that. Okay, we're good. And so then now we can take that, and it's abstracted from here. So now when we decrypt this message, we can just grab that from there, and this file's a lot smaller and less complicated now. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit nicer. So now we'll do that, and then we'll come over to the discussion. And on this, you're going to want to decrypt this event here. So what you'll do is you'll pass it in as a list, like that. We'll add that import. We have the event, and that should add it directly there. Let's see how this goes. Test. Boom. And then you come over here. Shit. That didn't work. It didn't query correctly. Yeah, it didn't query it correctly. Probably that relay URL thing kind of sucks. This is the discussion page. Maybe we'll get rid of this. Maybe that's it. Okay, now let's refresh this. Weird. Did it publish? What is that? There's this, then there's another bounty for discussion, and then there's that on top of it. What the frick is that? Got the D tag. Why does the pub key get added? There again. And whatever the hell this is. Is that what the D tag is? Oh yeah, it is. And why did I choose to do this? What the frick? Try to concatenate these two strings. Okay, we have to fix that. Let's do pub key string. And then we'll just do like this. And then we'll generate a unique hash based on the title plus the pub key. And that should shorten it. so that it doesn't look like shit. Test tags. Let's do test discussion. 21. Okay, that's posted. There we go. Now we got the nice short D tag. So we'll actually publish that. There we go. That should be easier to understand. Open bounties. Apply. Assign. Discuss. Okay, so now, before we send that message, you should probably see what it looks like. Okay, pub key, got some encrypted content, got the ID, got the tags from here and there, and then here we have, okay, this, the pub key, and the D tag. Let's see. Yeah, that should be fine. So we'll publish that. Now it should automatically update this. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be picking it up at all. Oh wait, there it goes. Okay. But setting it seems to be the problem. Okay, gets it on the second load. Strange. Let's see, did we get through? Okay, decrypting messages gets called, which means it definitely goes through all this. For some reason the state isn't updating though. I doubt this has anything to do with it. Okay, nothing gets set in message events. Maybe I need to pass some of that state through. Element implicitly has any type because index of type number. Shut up. For now. We'll solve that in a little bit. But we know that'll work, so maybe let's try. Oh, there might have been an error, but nope, that doesn't seem to help. Okay. Maybe let's grab this. We'll pass that through there. That should fix that. Oh, I thought it would have fixed that. And then we can from here what? Argument of type of that. Assignable to that. Is it working here then? That's not. No, whatever. Let's just see what happens. Damn it. Maybe if we just have it return. Return that. Return that. And then this, instead of setting them here, we'll return them. Here, I'm actually just probably going to return what we find, just for now. Something, I don't know. Now, we get rid of that, and then we would do const decrypted messages. We do set I guess we'll just re-return them. Huh. Okay. For some reason everything is really slow. Jeez. I don't know what's taking up all that RAM. Hope it's not my website. Don't think I can await these here. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Not sure if that was the issue. Still something that's taking up like an insane amount of memory. There's not really much open though. See if we kill Damas. No. I wonder if it's my editor. It's taking up a good bit. Click Shift Escape and Brave. What would that do? Click Shift Escape. I don't know what that would do. I tried to do it. I'm not really sure what's taking up so much memory though. I mean, I've got it down to something a little bit more reasonable, but I don't know what that was. I don't think it's the resolver site though, which is good. Messages, components, bounties, header, profile, discussion, chat window. Discussion. Okay, let's jump over here. Oh, Brave's Task Manager. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but it was like really slowing everything down. I couldn't even type. Alright, I don't know if this is going to be any better. Alright, that doesn't seem to help. I don't know why. State is such an enigma to me. Maybe we can just quickly do something like, just want to see what happens, like use effect. If we close message events, I just want a console log. Okay, it's empty. Why would that not update? Well, actually, from this standpoint, you shouldn't even need to decrypt it. You just need to cache it. Oops. But you need to cache it with the content. Okay. That's good so far then. Now the next problem. Oh shit, I hit the message at the wrong time there. Not that I think that matters, but. Okay, for some reason abstracting this is not working in this case, but that's fine because we actually didn't even need the decryption stuff. think my headphone went. I think I might have paused my music. Anyway, it's getting late anyway, and I'm so close to figuring this out, but I'm really not sure what I'm doing. I know I got some wacky state here, so I think that's mainly my problem. All right, I'll probably pick this up